ॐ जननीं शारदां देवी रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Yeah, devotees, as I had said, I'm not going to give a lecture today. So we'll be having a really class in the sense I will be asking you someone can try to read one paragraph, then try to understand whatever you read or heard, then try to explain me or just in a short briefly in one or two sentences what is the main points you picked up or what did you understand from each para. Then if it is yes, then I will confirm. Otherwise, I will tell, okay, these are the important points in this paragraph which you are supposed to note down or underline, or you can make your own notes. And if you can make your notes like this, each point, 1, 2, 3 points of each paragraph, then when you finish the whole lecture, which can run 3, 4, 6 pages, then even if you close the book and if you run through the points, you'll be able to get the essence of the whole lecture. Sometimes you want to read, okay, what did Swamiji speak in Madura here? Then if you see your notes, you will get the overall picture. A cursory look is enough for you to understand more or less the whole essence of the lecture, essence of that particular lecture. So this is called active reading. Passive reading is what? From the first letter to the last letter we read. We understand something, we might remember few things, we might get some inspirations for our spiritual life or for our day-to-day life, and we may get some life lessons. If you read little seriously or with concentration, you may get some life lessons for you, how to handle the life or how to face the society, how to face people and all. But if you read, if you study it, then so many things you can understand, so many things you can learn, and our perspective changes, our understandings changes, our approach towards things changes. So keeping that in the mind, today I am taking the class like how to study. Okay, can one of you read the first paragraph, please?
Okay, let me read it. I wish I could live in your midst for several days and fulfill the conditions that have just been pointed out by your most worthy chairman of relating to you my experiences in the West and the result of all my labors there for the last 4 years. But unfortunately, even Swamis have bodies, and the continuous traveling and speaking that I have had to undergo for the last 3 weeks make it impossible for me to deliver a very long speech this evening. I will therefore satisfy myself with thanking you very cordially for the kindness that has been shown to me and reserve other things for some day in the future when under better conditions of health we shall have time to talk over more various subjects than we can do in so short a time this evening. Being in Madura as the guest of one of your well-known citizens and noblemen, the Raja of Ramnath, one fact comes prominently to my mind. Perhaps most of you are aware that it was the Raja who first put the idea into my mind of going to Chicago, and it was he who all the time supported it with all his heart and influence. A good deal, therefore, of the praise that has been bestowed upon me in this address ought to go to this noble man of southern India. I only wish that instead of becoming a Raja, he had become a sannyasi, for that is what he is really fit for.
Okay, so now people can start expressing what did they feel or what did they understand from this paragraph. In shortly, don't give a lecture. So in short, in brief. So don't feel fear. It is not an exam. So it is just discussion and trying to learn. Oh, yes.
Here, Swamiji. Oh, may I start, Swamiji?
Yeah.
Yes. Here it is clear how much Swami Vivekananda desires to, how much sympathy he has in the hearts of, in his heart towards the people, and how much desire he has to, how much love he has towards the people, so that he wants to really give them a long lecture and guide them. But it is clear that he has recently traveled, and he mentions actually quite rarely about his health. He says under better conditions of health. So obviously from here I get a feel that he is not feeling completely healthy enough to give a long lecture this evening. And then he talks about the Raja of Ramnath, and when he says that he should have become a sannyasin, this is high praise coming from Swami Vivekananda for a particular person, because he has understood his qualities. And this reminds me of the Rajarshi Janaka from the Upanishads, where and so Swami Vivekananda has expressed that this Raja has so much knowledge and so much care towards dharma and these dharmic Vedantic concepts. So.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Any other points?
Swamiji is ever grateful to Raja of Ramnath, and that he is expressing.
Okay.
Maharaj, that there is a point that instead of becoming a Raja, he had been a sannyasin. In which aspect Swamiji told us this, that Raja becomes sannyasin?
Okay. It is question. What did you understand? I am asking.
I want to understand that a Raja become a sannyasi because of his kind-heartedness, Maharaj.
Okay. I will come to it afterwards. Okay. Okay. Anyone want to add anything?
Swamiji, the screen that you shared has now switched to the other one.
Okay.
So we are no longer seeing the text.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay. See, yes. First thing is, Swamiji is telling very clearly, Swamiji's magnanimity or compassionate heart we can understand from here. Swamiji is unwell, but still he is feeling for people, and as a result, he has come to give a lecture. Generally, when we are unwell, when we are not well, if there is a pressing thing, invitation or whatever, we may say. But here he is nothing to achieve for him. Out of compassion, he has come here to give a lecture. So the great heart of Buddha, you can get here. Okay, you can understand the magnanimity or the compassionate heart of Swamiji. First point. More importantly, this is the one thing which we have to understand here. Now, all of you know that, or all of you could understand, Swamiji was unwell. For 4 or 5 years, Swamiji traveled across the West and he gave so much lectures and other things. It has said upon his health. And also when he came to India, because of that scorching sun or the heat or whatever, that also has said upon his health now. That is all fine. We understand that. Now, here what is the life lesson we have to take? This is a very important point here. Swamiji is unwell, we understand. So Swamiji, who is the Swamiji here? He is the incarnation. He is the Shiva Amsha, incarnation of Shiva. We all accept it. And he is the prophet. So even the prophets, even the incarnations, when they take a human body, they undergo the sufferings whatever a common person undergoes. Well, it may be less, it may be more. Physically, I'm saying. But now the difference is, we common people, when we are undergoing the physical suffering, physical pain, we also undergo mental suffering. But whereas in these people, or in these great people, saints, prophets, or whatever, they may undergo the physical problems, physical challenges more than us, but there is no mental suffering for them. There is no agony in them. There is a pain, but there is no suffering. Many times we think, oh, why God cannot be perfect? When God was born as Rama or Krishna, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Buddha, why they can't be perfect? No, because whatever they have created, when they take the role, they will follow the law. What is the law? From childhood to the death, the body undergoes 6 changes. As per the scriptures, we know that. So even the God takes the human body, he also undergoes that physical challenges, physical changes. But the difference is, they don't suffer, we suffer. So this is one of the important points we can understand here. So perfection does not mean physical perfection. Perfection is our reality. How? By understanding who am I will get the perfection. I can attain the perfection. So this is one important point you have to understand. And afterwards, Swamiji is telling, and is praising the Raja of Ramnad. That is the one thing. Yes, we all understand. So he is expressing his gratitude for the Raja of Ramnad, which is one of the value which we all have to inculcate. When someone helps us, if we can, we have to be gratitude. We should show our gratitude, respect towards our parents, our children, our relatives, friends, or XYZ, whoever may be. Whoever helps us, we should show the gratitude. By that, we become great. We are true human beings. So Swamiji is showing the gratitude. Now, but only one question here. If you are an analytical reader, if you know the history of Swami Vivekananda's life history, study deeply, you should be knowing this. Already in Mysore and also in Khetri, Maharaja had already requested Swamiji to go to the west to spread the Hinduism or to represent the Hinduism. So Bhaskar Setupati, that is the Raja of Ramnad, was not the first person. So it is just an exaggeration. Exaggeration means because in front of the subjects of the Raja of Ramnad, Swamiji is praising him that he is the first person. But I don't know whether is it factual or what. But however, Raja of Ramnad's character personality is what, as Vishwas told beautifully, Swamiji is mentioning about him as Rajarshi. So what does it mean? So I may be monk or a householder, I may be CEO, I may be team leader, I may be scientist, I may be housewife, whatever it may be my profession, so social status, I can practice spirituality in staying in my walk of life. It doesn't mean that it is only for monks. Spirituality, Sadhuderjana, it is only for monks, or only monks can do. No. Or I will become old and I will try to do. No. Whether I am whatever I may be in a social status or stage of life stage, I can practice spirituality in the given point of time, in the given situation. So when Raja is able to practice spirituality, inculcate spiritual values, why can't we do it? Because the Raja can be the busiest person in the country. So these are the 2-3 important life lessons which we can get from these things. One is understanding the sentences, understanding the thing at superficial level or at the surface level. And when you go deeply, you can get the life lessons actually. So that's what I wanted to make you understand. I hope all of you understand. So I think one of you asked the question, in what sense Raja should have become a sannyasin according to Swamiji? He's a Raja, he's doing very good work, no doubt. He's a fit spiritual aspirant. Because he's such a spiritual aspirant and is detached from the world, he's a fit person to be a monastic, to be ascetic, to be a monk. From that sense, Swamiji is telling. That doesn't mean that he should become monk. So Swamiji is praising him, saying that he is completely detached. He is a king. He is sitting on the throne. He may be using golden ornaments and other things, all that, but he is detached from all these things. That is what our Vedic view of life. Earning money is not bad, But getting attached to money or obsessed with the money alone is bad. That's what Shastra says. Should we not earn the money? Yes, we should earn the money. We need money to take care of the life and society, but we should not be obsessed with that. We should not be attached to that. That is what we can understand from this last sentence of the para. Okay. Someone can read now, second para now.
Anyone else want to read or shall I continue?
Okay, you can continue.
Wherever there is a thing really needed in one part of the world, the complement will find its way there and supply it with new life. This is true in the physical world as well as in the spiritual. If there is a want of spirituality in one part of the world, and at the same time that spirituality exists elsewhere, whether we consciously struggle for it or not, that spirituality will find its way to the part where it is needed and balance the inequality. In the history of the human race, not once or twice, but again and again, it has been the destiny of India in the past to supply spirituality to the world. We find that whenever, either by mighty conquest or by commercial supremacy, different parts of the world have been kneaded into one whole race, and requests have been made from one corner to the other, each nation, as it were, poured forth its own quota, either political, social, or spiritual. India's contribution to the sum total of human knowledge has been spirituality, philosophy. These she contributed even long before the rising of the Persian Empire. The second time was during the Persian Empire, for the third time during the ascendancy of the Greeks, and now for the fourth time during the ascendancy of the English. She is going to fulfill the same destiny once more. As Western ideas of organization and external civilization are penetrating and pouring into our country, whether we will have them or not, so Indian spirituality and philosophy are deluging the lands of the West. None can resist it, and no more can we resist some sort of material civilization from the West. A little of it perhaps is good for us, and a little spiritualization is good for the West. Thus, the balance will be preserved. It is not that we ought to learn everything from the West, or that they have to learn everything from us, but each will have to supply and hand down to future generations what it has for the future accomplishment of that dream of ages, the harmony of nations, an ideal world. Whether that ideal world will even come, I do not know. Whether that social perfection will ever be reached, I have my own doubts. But whether it comes or not, each one of us will have to work for the idea as if it will come tomorrow, and as if it only depends on his work and his alone. Each one of us will have to believe that everyone else in the world has done his work, and the only work remaining to be done to make the world perfect has to be done by himself. This is the responsibility we have to take upon ourselves.
Fine. So can you tell? It's not that easy now, like earlier para. That's fine, but whatever you understand, you can tell me.
Okay, so here Swamiji is telling that every country or every part of the world has something to offer to the other parts, and it is the law of the world that whenever there is some want at one part of the world, that there will be supply from the other part.
Yes.
So be it the material thing or the spiritual thing. And it has been seen earlier also that India is actually destined to supply the spirituality to the world. And
Yes.
here he has given the example that long before Persian Empire, during the ascendancy of Greeks, or at that particular time during the ascendancy of English, India is always doing that destined work. And likewise, not only India has to give the spirituality, but it has to take the some material things from the Western world. And
Yes. Mm.
neither is actually, we cannot say that and these both should be balanced. Actually, we need some material civilization from the West, and they need some spiritualization from us. So there should be a balance between the two. And so uh,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, this is the thing.
Yes. Any others want to add anything?
Yes, Swamiji. In the last few sentences, we see Swami Vivekananda's strong emphasis and conviction regarding Karma Yoga. That regardless of what others are doing, one has to. He tells us that we have to do our work without thinking that others are not doing or anything like that. This is one thing I take away from this paragraph.
Mm.
And secondly, he has clearly established in the first few sentences of the paragraph that India is the heart of spirituality in the world.
Mm.
That so although he is returning from the West, and then he has seen that there was a lack of spirituality at that point, and then he has also felt that perhaps the Western people, the way they flocked to listen to his lectures, it gave him this idea that there is a necessity of the spiritual values and spiritual ideas in the West, and that is why there was such a huge demand in the sense that people were coming to listen to his lectures. So these are two things I could perceive from this paragraph.
Yes. So anyone else, anything they would like to add? Any new point other than this? Okay. So now all these things can be summarized into 3 or 4 points here. 1, each nation can contribute something to the world, either social, political, economical, technical, or spiritual. I mean, at broad canvas, each nation has to or can contribute something to the world. And India's contribution to the world is spiritual. This is the first point. And one more is that when there is a need, when there is a demand and there is a need, the world supplies to the country or to the individual. So I'm just telling first, if there is a want of spirituality in one part of the world, and at the same time that spirituality exists elsewhere, whether we consciously struggle for it or not, that spirituality will find its way to the part where it is needed and balance the inequality. So what does it mean? If the country or a person needs something, then you get it. That is what the cosmic law. I am not getting spirituality means I don't really need it. Yeah. So first point. Second, the world has been saved. India has saved the world by spreading its spirituality or the knowledge at 4 times. One is before the rising of the Persian Empire. India has saved the world by contributing its spiritual values or the knowledge at 4 times Swamiji is telling. One is before the rise of Persian Empire. Second is during the Persian Empire. Third is during the Greeks, ascendancy of the Greeks. And the fourth is ascendancy of the English, that is Britishers. I will come to the detail little later. So 4 times India has saved the world by contributing the spirituality. And now Swamiji is telling very clearly, we have to exchange the best things, whatever we have with others, and we have to receive also. Everyone should not become Indianized, everyone should not become Westernized. So we have got something to give, let us give, and we can also take. Giving spirituality and the religion for them, and taking their cult, technology or the organizing power, organizing way, whatever. These things can be done. And that's how the ideal world can be created. But he expresses whether is it possible or not. That means there was no ideal world, there is no ideal world, there will be no ideal world. So all the time there is a constant friction, constant tussle, or constant try is happening to balance it, to go to the equilibrium state, which is not happening. So it keeps on going to other extremes always. And Swamiji tells beautifully that is a self-responsibility. The last one is self-responsibility. He tells so beautifully, you see, what we think, oh, I am perfect, I have done my duty, what about others? Or if I do alone, what is the use? Because others are not doing. But Swamiji is giving a beautiful idea for us. He is telling each one of us will have to believe that everyone else in the world has done their work, his work. And the only work remaining to be done to make the world perfect has to be done by himself. So everyone have given their part. Only there is a left out is what I have to do now. So self-responsibility. We think by doing me alone, what is right? What is the use? Let others do it. But Swamiji is putting other way. Everyone has done, only you are supposed to, you are left out, my dear, do it off now. So this is the responsibility we have to take upon ourselves. Self-responsibility. The self-responsibility comes from Shraddha. That is self-confidence. Now, probably in one of my earlier lecture I had told, to understand lectures from Colombo to Almora, you should know philosophy, little idea you should have, and also history we should have. Then only you can understand Swamiji's complete works, and especially lectures from Colombo to Almora. Now you will understand here why. Now, in the second point I said, India saved 4 times. What are the 4 times? One is before the rise of Persian Empire, he says. What is he referring to? As I understand, it is like Achaemenid Empire. One of the famous dynasty or empire called Achaemenid Empire, which ruled the Persia. So before that means it is something around 1500 to 600 BC, or maybe 5000 to 1000, particularly 1500 BC basically. So where the Vedic knowledge, Upanishadic knowledge, or Indian wisdom was sent to the West. I think A.L. Bhashyam's book is there, and there are so many articles has been told. And also I think I had shared with India's spiritual contribution to the world, an article penned by myself. There all these things I have discussed. That is before the rise of Achaemenid Empire in Persia. Say it is between 1500 to 600 BCE, now before Common Era. That is the time Swami is saying. First time. Second time, during Persian Empire means what? During Achaemenid Empire. That is roughly 500 and 300 BC. Then ascendancy of the Greeks, like Alexander and all, they came and all. So it is like between 300 and 150 BC. Pre-Socrates, Anaximander, we come to know, and Protagoras, then Pythagoras, all of them were influenced by our Indian wisdom. We know that. And during the English says, that is the Britishers' time, Swami Vivekananda contributed to the world by his lectures, we know that. So if you know the history, you will be able to understand all these things. Okay, any doubts now? Can we go to the next para? I hope now you understand how you can read and how you can understand the Swamiji's lectures.
Maharaj, Swamiji is talking about the balance, but he also says that we don't need to learn everything from the West. That means we don't need to
Yes.
do no need for imitating them.
You are right. You are right. So blindly accepting is not required. We shall get the best things from them, or rather, I can put like this. Now, you sow a mango seed, and also you see a guava seed in the same land, and you pour the same amount of water, same amount of sunlight, same quality of soil, same fertilizers or whatever manure you pour. But both of them, they grow according to their nature. The mango tree and the guava tree grows according to its nature. So similarly, mango tree cannot imitate the guava tree, and guava tree cannot imitate the mango tree. So similarly, the best things from the Western civilization we should take and adapt, like their social values. They maintain cleanliness. They don't put the garbage or trash in the road or in the public area, and they're well organized. They're very well structured. Whatever they do, they try to do perfectly. They put on the paper everything, all these things. And India knows for the ancient wisdom about the Atman, Brahman, consciousness, spirituality, the Vedas, Upanishads, and these things. So each can exchange like this. For an example, always I feel, we use for an example, now it has become a part and parcel of our culture. There is no use actually. Jeans pant. Why this jeans pant came into existence in the West? Because in those days, earlier, people were working in the farm fields and all. And moreover, there is a lot of coldness was there. Cold. Here, biting cold is there. As a result, to protect themselves, they used to use a very thick pants. Now, in India, you got 35 degree, 40 degree, 45 degree and all. Using the jeans pant, so thick jeans pant doesn't make any sense. For an example, now we have to be very clear about it. So like this, every one is culture, and there is a lot of even for example, in India we use a lot of chilies and pickles and salts and other things, but in the West they don't use it. But when we come here, we try to manage it or maintain it, same thing, but actually it's not required. Why? In India, because of the Mediterranean climate, we sweat a lot, so we need salts and other things, but here we don't sweat, so you don't need it actually. So that's so based on the environment also, many things has been developed that we don't understand. So like this, we should not imitate. That's what Swamiji is trying to tell us. Yeah. Shall we go to third para?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, kindly read. Yeah.
In the meanwhile, in India there is a tremendous revival of religion. There is danger ahead as well as glory, for revival sometimes breeds fanaticism, sometimes goes to the extreme, so that often it is not even in the power of those who start the revival to control it when it has gone beyond a certain length. It is better therefore to be forewarned. We have to find our way between the cilia of old superstitious orthodoxy and the Charybdis of materialism, of Europeanism, of soullessness, of the so-called reform, which has penetrated to the foundation of Western progress. These two have to be taken care of. In the first place, we cannot become Westerns. Therefore, imitating the Westerners is useless. Suppose you can imitate the Westerners. That moment you will die. You will have no more life in you. In the second place, it is impossible. A stream is taking its rise away beyond where time began, flowing through millions of ages of human history. Do you mean to get hold of that stream and push it back to its source to a Himalayan glacier? Even if that were practicable, it would not be possible for you to be Europeanized. If you find it is impossible for the European to throw off the few centuries of culture which there is in the West, do you think it is possible for you to throw off the culture of shining scores of centuries? It cannot be. We must also remember that in every little village god and every little superstitious custom is that which we are accustomed to call our religious faith. But local customs are infinite and contradictory. Which are we to obey and which not to obey? The Brahmins of southern India, for instance, would shrink in horror at the sight of another Brahmin eating meat. A Brahmin in the north thinks it a most glorious and holy thing to do. He kills goats by the hundred in sacrifice. If you put forward your custom, they are equally ready with theirs. Various are the customs all over India, but they are local. The greatest mistake made is that ignorant people always think that this local custom is the essence of our religion.
Yeah, very interesting discussions now. Yeah, kindly let me know what all you things you're thinking.
As per Maharaj, as per different regions in our India, our rituals is different. The
Yes.
Brahmins of north and the Brahmins of south, there are different rituals they are following.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Swamiji, which has he said that various are the customs all over the India, but they are local. The greatest mistake made is that ignorant people always think that is local custom is the essence of our religion. That means that the local customs is not the essence of our religion. We will have to take the main essence, that which we will have to that spiritualization in our mind
Mother, don't,
from.
we should not explain here. Please don't explain. That's what I told at the beginning. You have to be very precise in one or two sentences, you have to tell it.
Acha, acha, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. So we will have to be we will have to take the essence
Yes, yes,
of
you
the
are right. Thank you.
spiritualization.
Hmm,
Ah.
hmm, hmm. Yeah, any other point to be added?
And
Maharaj,
at the beginning, sorry, Jhumur Devi.
Maharaj, one more point is that we should not emphasize more on orthodoxies and superstitions.
Hmm, hmm. Okay. Yeah. Next.
And Maharaj, at the beginning, Swamiji is talking about the revival of the religion. It can be glorious, it can be dangerous as well.
Hmm. Beautiful. Yeah.
So, and again, he is talking about the that we should not copy, imitate
Hmm.
the European cultures.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Swamiji, I think Swami Vivekananda has here perceived or is clearly warning that
No, no, Vishwas.
there's.
Again, I'm telling
Okay.
you, don't
Okay.
explain
Okay.
things.
I think
Just
okay.
briefly tell the points.
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, he warns against copying the Europeans because there perhaps is some kind of a low self-confidence or inferiority complex among Indians at that point of time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So see, when we tell these small points, it should be told in precise way so that we can make notes even. Yeah. So now, first and foremost, Swamiji is telling there is a tremendous revival of religion in India. So a lot of changes are happening in India, keeping the religion as the backbone. Okay. But as Nilanjana told beautifully, that is good, and there is a problem also can happen. In the name of religion, there okay. So first is there is a tremendous revival of religion in India. First point. Second, we should try to balance it. We should not be too much orthodoxy or superstitious, or we should not be too liberal in the name of rationality. Many people say, oh, I am very rational, I am very open and all. So too much extremes are not good. That's what Swamiji is saying. Second point. And third is imitation leads to death, so it is not possible. The fourth point is local customs are different based on areas, but we think that is the nerve center or that is the important part of the religion, which is wrong. So 4 points. So this is how I mean to say, when you tell the points, just you have to tell so that it will be easy for us to make the notes or to remember a recording. Now when you go for explanation, we can give a lot of explanation. So Swamiji is giving very clearly why there is a war in the name of religion or in the name of God. Because of fanaticism. It is not because of religion, it is not because of God, because of fanaticism. My religion alone is true, my God alone is true, all others are not true. This fanaticism breeds bigotry and bloodshed and whatever. Okay. And he gives now, here only again I tell you, why do we need history? Swamiji is telling, we have to find our way between the sila of old superstitious orthodoxy and the charybdis of materialism, of Europeanism, of soullessness, of the so-called reform, which has penetrated to the foundation of Western progress. Now, what is this sila? I mean, I may be wrong in pronouncing the pronunciation. What is this sila and charybdis? So these are the two monsters in the Greek mythology actually. So Scylla is a monster which is in Greek mythology, which used to destroy the sailors. So basically it symbolizes blind adherence to the traditions, outdated traditions. 10 centuries before, 20 centuries before they were doing, we will do like this itself. Many people, in some Semitic religions, they say, because in the 6th or 8th century they were doing, in the Arab or whatever, they want to do now also in every part of country now, or in every part of the world, which is not right. So Sila means, which is dangerous, blind adherence to the outdated traditions. Swamiji is telling that be aware of that, don't be the victim of it. So old superstitious orthodoxy basically. And charybdis means what? It is again one more sea monster from the Greek mythology, which is equally danger. Obsession with the physical comfort and physical well-being, or sense gratification in the name of freedom, in the name of rationality or the progressivism and all. So one side it is a blind adherence to the superstitions or the traditions, customs. The other is in the name of rationality and freedom, it is becoming materialistic or sense pleasurable seeking person or sense gratification. So both extremes are not good. So we should take the middle path. That's what Swamiji is saying. And afterwards Swamiji is saying that if you imitate any country, you will die. Imitation leads to death. And he says very clearly, the Western civilization at right now has been formed because of the Christianization last in 2000 years at the most. Even some countries are even lesser, and still they cannot change many things. And our India has been got thousands of years. How can we change? Or how these people are expecting us to change, which is nonsense or which is impossible. And now Swamiji is telling that local customs. This local customs from part to part, from state to state, it changes. Even in the state itself, there can be changes. For an example, in the Bengal, the marriage happens mostly, I don't know now, earlier at least, a little earlier, few 20, 30 years before, at the night time, isn't it? Why? Oh, because Vedas say so. No, Vedas have not said. Why it happened? It was because of the social reason, because the Muslim rule. Bengal faced a Muslim rule and Britishers rule and other things, so they wanted to protect themselves. As a result, they started doing the marriages at late evening or night, so that their woman can be protected. Whereas if you see even southern India, even now, we all do marriages only, main marriages in daytime only. And Shastras say that it should be in daytime only. Shastras means again, Dharma Shastras, that we will take in next class. So these customs based on the environment, based on the social and political reasons, and many other reasons have been evolved, and it differs from place to place. That we should be okay and we should accept it, and that is not the main part of the religion. I'm doing fasting, that it becomes the alpha and omega of the life. I don't eat onion and garlic, that becomes I'm very spiritual, we think. Or I eat meat or I don't eat meat, I'm very spiritual. No. It all helps, no doubt, but that is not the main part of the life. What is that then? Trying to lead a pure life, trying to keep our mind at higher thoughts, and trying to lead a God-centered life, or spiritual life, or conscious-centered life. That's what is important, which we should know. So only 3 paragraphs we could discuss. So like this, one paragraph, if you read and 2, 3 or 4 lines, if you can write the gist of the paragraph, then when you finish the lecture, when you see that, when you have a cursory look of all that points, you will get overall the essence of that particular lecture of Swamiji's and what you can understand. Now you see, now so many things you can understand. Fanatism is not good. Too much orthodoxy is not good. Too much openness, other extreme is not good. We should not imitate. And local customs are important, but that is not the soul of the religion or alpha and omega of the religion. So now these things helps us to take a attitude, to take our, approach towards things. Whether my father says, mother says, XYZ says, we can understand very clearly what to do and what not to do. We can be very clear. Yeah. Any questions? Till now? So, and also I wanted to know, was it helpful for you?
Yes,
Yes,
Swamiji.
Swamiji.
Yes, Maharaj.
Very interactive, Maharaj. We are also actively participating.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be only one side. Yeah, when you have classes also, it can be thought over like this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay then.
So if anybody is having any question, you can ask Maharaj. So Maharaj, when will be the next class?
Yeah, that's a good question. 30th
30th, yes.
July.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay for me.
Yes, it
Yeah.
So next class will be on 30th July. So those who have joined today, thank you for joining our group. And our link remains the same. So Maharaj has already declared that it will be on 30th July. So you can join through the same link on that day. And I will definitely share the flyer in the two groups, Swamiji's class and the Tatpadam group, and so you can also get more from that.
Okay, all of you do well. Thank you, Jai Ram Krishna.
Thank you, Swamiji. Jai Ram Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you.